All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something really cool. We're taking the Life Intervention Program's Template 1, which, let's be real, looks like just another boring administrative form at first glance, and we're flipping it into an absolutely dynamic, student-centered powerhouse of a tool. If you facilitate family meetings, grab a pen, because this is your blueprint for success. So, here's our quick roadmap. We'll hit the core principles, look at structuring the meeting, identifying priorities, writing the goal statement, and finally, avoiding common mistakes. Let's get right to it.
Kicking things off with Section 1, Core Principles, or the Why. Before we even think about checking a box, we need to get our mindset right.
The major paradigm shift here, we are not trying to fix everything all at once. Remember, this program is about educational family support, not clinical therapy. So skip the deficit mindset. Instead, start with the students' existing strengths, their interests, and what they already do every single day. Bring the students' voice into the mix. It can't just be about what the adults want. And the golden rule, we are hunting for just one small, realistic goal. That's it. Focus on achievable, bite-sized progress. All right, moving to Section 2, structuring the meeting, or the how. Let's look at the actual nuts and bolts of running this thing. This 6-step agenda is literally designed to keep things flowing beautifully. You start with a warm welcome, because, rapport is everything. Then guide the goal discussion, break down the chosen activity, pick the right supports, plan the home practice, and confirm the next steps. It keeps the whole team moving forward without ever feeling like you're reading from a rigid script. Now on to Section 3, identifying priorities. It's time to meet Roy. Let's step out of the abstract and see how this actually plays out with a real 12-year-old student. When we map out Roy, it's like putting together a puzzle of who he is as a whole person. On one hand, you've got his strengths. He's super into science, music, technology, and he actually wants to learn about budgeting and skateboard tricks. On the flip side, the family has their own priorities, like building a solid summer routine, and they have real constraints, like keeping screen time brief and supervised. Finding that sweet spot between what Roy is itching to do and what his family realistically needs, well, that is the true magic of Template 1. Now, when you hit the goal selection part of the meeting, I promise you, you're going to be tempted to check a dozen boxes. Self-care, fitness, communication. You'll want to tackle the whole shebang. But don't do it. Restrain yourself. Just ask this one guiding question. What is the main skill we want to practice this week? For Roy, the team bridged his interest in budgeting with his family's need for routine, landing on a single, laser-focused goal area, money use. Which brings us to Section 4, writing the goal statement, the what. We've got Roy's priority area. Now, let's turn that broad concept into a razor-sharp action plan. Okay, I literally want you to burn this formula into your brain. The student will do what, during which routine, with what support level, by when. This exact structure is your best friend. Why? Because it guarantees your goal is observable, it lives inside a real routine, it tells everyone exactly what help is needed, and it slaps a deadline on it. It absolutely forces you to be precise. Look at the contrast here. It's pretty eye-opening. Saying Roy will learn budgeting sounds great, right? But it's totally vague. How do you actually measure learning? You really can't. But look at the better version. Using our formula, we give Roy a crystal clear action, using a checklist to pick out food items, and we embed it right into the family's actual weekly grocery trip with adult support as needed by the next meeting. Now that is a goal you can actually measure. But hey, writing the goal is really only half the battle. You have to explain why it matters. Ditch the weak, throw away justifications like, well, the family wants it, or it's useful. You gotta dig deeper. You want to articulate the strong meaning. Show how this specific goal actively builds independence. For Roy, this grocery goal isn't just about food. It involves him in a real routine, supports his decision-making, and kickstarts those budgeting skills he was already hyped about. So, this brings up the next massive question. How do we know progress is happening? Because let's be honest, the most beautifully written goal in the world is totally useless if we have no clue whether the student is actually hitting it. When the form asks how you'll track progress, please, whatever you do not just write data will be recorded. That means absolutely nothing. Be concrete. Define exactly what you are going to observe. For Roy, that means we are literally counting how many checklist steps he completes. We are noting the prompt level, like did he need a quick visual cue or a full verbal reminder? And did the items he grabbed actually fit the grocery plan? This makes your success objective and completely undeniable. All right, home stretch. Section 5, avoiding common mistakes. Let's make sure you walk out of here fully confident by dodging the pitfalls that trip most people up. Most of these traps come from a really good place. Checking too many goal areas, that just makes things overwhelming. Writing abstract goals, no one knows if you're actually succeeding. And a massive, massive mistake is letting the adults in the room totally bulldoze the student's own voice. Oh, and if you pick a goal that completely clashes with the family's actual daily routine, yeah, it's just not going to get practiced. Keep it focused, keep it observable, and anchor it in reality. So how do you land the plane? You might wrap up by saying, "Thank you so much for sharing your family priorities. We chose one small goal today, and after this meeting, we'll use Template 2 to turn this into a simple activity plan." A wrap-up like that is gold. It validates the family, keeps everyone locked in on that single goal, and sets the stage for what's coming next. Everyone leaves feeling heard. Because at the end of the day, you have to remember, Template 1 is not the final destination. It is not the complex, multi-layered intervention plan. It is simply the launch pad. It gathers the exact intel you need so you are perfectly set up to build out those detailed task analysis steps and baselines in Template 2. So as we close out this explainer, I'm throwing a challenge your way. You've got the formula, you've got the structure, and you know the exact mindset needed to unlock a student's potential through one single powerful conversation. So how are you going to use this framework to find that one perfect, game-changing goal in your very next meeting? Get out there and make it happen.